I called him and told him where he's here.
We're ready.
Thank you. Everybody, it's 9:01. I'm Vern Tepe. I call to order the Public Service Committee. Can we have a roll call?
Copy. Brown,
Brown here.
Leonard,
Leonard here.
Lewis,
Lewis here.
Shepro,
Jepro's here. I can see him.
Yeah, I didn't hear
Third.
my name called.
Oh,
Shepro,
Shepro here.
Surges.
Surges, yes.
You have a quorum?
okay. We have a quorum. First off, the minutes aren't quite ready, so we'll do the approval of the minutes next month. So we'll pass over that. We have nobody signed up for public comments. I have no comment to that.
Except plus Surges.
Okay, Finance Departments. Mr. Kilburn. Morning.
I'm the treasurer department.
Sorry about that.
I don't want to take over Joe's job. Trust me, I've seen his work and
Recorder's Office, anything?
Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is David Scholes. I'm the research manager in the recorder's office, and oftentimes Sandy will have me come over if she's not available to come to the meetings. Just want to let you know, we are staying still very, very busy. We're about 17,000 documents ahead of the pace we had at this point in time last year. And we are still staying strong with all of the sales and refinancing. And there does not appear to be a slowdown right now. We are still, if you can look at the report, we are still doing a very, very brisk business.
Are people coming in yet?
Yeah, we do have people coming in. A lot of people come in. A majority of the people that are coming in on my side are trying to get copies of their deeds. They record their release and they are under the assumption that we have all the original deeds. You know, it's like a car title when you pay it off that you come in and get the thing. And we, show them a copy of it. And a lot of times people actually, well, I already have that. They're expecting something different, unfortunately. Recordings, we are still having people come in. Right now, I would say it's a majority, just people coming in, recording simple deed or simple release. We don't really have the title companies. They're still doing a lot of electronic recording. And then there are also a lot of FedEx still. There's a couple of companies that send large packages of FedEx every day. So, but we are still getting people in, so.
Mr. Chairman, Copey's present.
Yes, sir. Copey, okay. Copey's present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Copey. All right, now, Finance Department.
treasurer's department. Thank you very much. No, I look at the work that Joe does and I'm not going to take over that spot.
I wouldn't want it
The-
either, I'll tell you.
No,
that.
no, sir. The treasurer's report is included with the agenda. I do have some just additional items of information for you and others in the county. Some important dates. September 1st is the second installment is due for the real estate taxes. Currently, as of yesterday, we had collected a total of over 60% of the current taxes and already 22%, almost 23% of the second installments. So they're coming along, but as history will tell you over the next couple of weeks, if you're in this building, you may see a line out the office. We remain open to accept taxes, but there are other ways that you can drop them off to us. There's the box in the back. There are banks throughout the county electronically. But we're in the process of accepting those. September 8th, we have a tax distribution. So we are collecting the taxes from the residents, and on September 8th, we'll be distributing them to the different governmental bodies that they belong to. And then we're back to the tax sale season, November 1st. We'll have a tax sale, and we're making way and preparing for that at this time.
Good, thank you. Any questions? Yes,
Thank
sir,
you,
Mr. Leonard.
Chairman. Mr. Kilburn, first of all, I wanted to thank you very much for getting that report to me after the meeting a month or so ago. with respect to the weighted average of our yield on our investments. And I looked it over and I really appreciate you explaining the fact that on the demand, we were getting 0.06, not 0.60.
Correct.
And I think on the investment, we were getting about 0.6.
I believe that's that. I don't have the chart in front of me, so I'm
Yeah, and I don't either, so I'm going off the top of my head. But anyhow, what I'd like to ask, I looked over the agenda today and I didn't see the weighted average for our yield in the agenda packet. Maybe I missed
I
it.
thought that was in the finance committee, so that's not normally what is in this packet. That's at the finance meeting next week.
Okay, is there any way you could put it for our committee also? Because not everybody's on the finance committee. I think it'd be helpful just so we know where we're at and what's going on.
Okay.
But thank you very much for all your
And
help.
make sure I get this correct. What would you like to see, sir?
Well, there was a report that's been given to us for the last 12 years. I just like that report. It shows a combination of both the demand and the investment yield. So we have an overall yield so we can see what our $350 million is yielding.
But you're looking for that with this packet and the finance.
Yeah.
packet. I
Yes.
gotcha. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Gotcha. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Brown.
Yeah, Brown here. Michael, the distribution that you're going to send out, is that for the full year or do you do that after the first installment and the second installment?
There are distributions scheduled throughout the year. It's not one or two. How many are there, Gary?
30 days apart.
30 days apart.
30 days apart. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Other questions? Supervisor Assessments, Mr. Armstrong.
Good morning, everyone. Mark Armstrong, Kane County Supervisor of Assessments. My report begins on page 28 of your packet and it goes all the way to page 29. So it's pretty perfunctory. There is some updating because as we always have this time, we're moving faster than the Open Meetings Act's agenda rules allows us to get you something up to date. So on your agendas, you see one blank spot on page 28 of your packet. Under Elgin, the final equalization factor for Elgin is 1.0475. That's the same as its projected factor. The Elgin is going to be published next Wednesday and the final filing deadline will be September 24th. Aurora Township did indeed publish today. You can see its final filing deadline is set for September 20th. So the biggest change we've got now going forward for the next month is going to be how we do Board of Review hearings. Now, prior to 2020, so 2019 going all the way back to as far as anyone in my office has a memory, how we did Board of Review hearings was you came in, you had 3 hearing officers. They would hear the evidence, people could ask questions. The township assessor would present their evidence. The township assessor could then, you could ask questions of them. Then the board would deliberate right there in front of everyone and issue a decision. Last year, around April, when we're creating our rules for the year, we were in a large state of unknown of where we would be, and we didn't even know what kind of tech would be available. So we did everything with a single hearing officer, a written recommendation to the Board of Review, and then the Board of Review would meet. And those meetings were held on Zoom, and those meetings were done downstairs in the auditorium as a way to allow anyone who wanted to attend to attend. This year, we're able to streamline that quite a bit. And part of that is thanks to you here at the county board for approving some of the capital expenditures for changing the Board of Review hearing room. The hearing room is going to be the same. We're going to go back to the 3-member panel that can issue a decision right there at the meeting. Taxpayers really like that, not having the unknown at that point. But aside from that, it's going to look more like the bridge of the Starship Enterprise than a traditional hearing room, as it has a very large monitor on the wall, and all our hearings are going to be electronic. Now, there are 2 ways for taxpayers, attorneys, witnesses, interveners, so on to participate. One is the same way we have for this meeting here, and that's by Zoom teleconference, where you can actually participate with a computer that has a camera and an internet connection, or a smartphone that has the same. But we're aware that some people may want to participate and they don't have access to that. So at that point, we have a telephone hearing as well. Again, it's using the Zoom platform, and they will be able to call in. But this way, we will be able to do all of the hearings with all the participants remote. So not bringing in people to the same room. Now, when we were creating these rules back in May, it really looked like this might just be unnecessary, that we might not have a problem, and all of COVID would go away by the time we started hearings in September. It turns out we were wise to show a little bit of restraint in pulling all that back. And the design was intended to provide that we can go ahead with hearings no matter what the situation happens with COVID-19. And so I appreciate the responsiveness that you have in allowing me to create that and providing the funding for it. The Board of Review is very happy to set that up. So we will be able to hold hearings regardless of what else is happening in the outside world. Now, why is that important? It's important because if we don't hold hearings, the board can't then certify the assessment roll to the county clerk. If they can't certify to the clerk can't extend taxes. They can't extend taxes, the treasurer can't send out tax bills. If they can't send out tax bills, more than $1 billion of local government funding does not exist. This kind of recalls that the old poem about the wand of the horseshoe nail. It seems like a small thing, but it's critical to making sure that local governments stay funded, that first responders continue to get paid, that teachers continue to get paid, and that everything else continues to function. So with that, I concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions any of the committee has.
Any questions?
And look, historically, as I said, meeting with other treasurers, other counties in the state have had a problem with getting their information from the assessor's office. So we are really lucky here to have someone, and like Mark, in that office where we get it on time, before time, so that we can get those bills out and collect those monies and get them off to the necessary government agencies to do their work.
Yeah, it's the cooperation that works here at Kane County is to be admired. Absolutely. Thank you. Next, Regional Office of Education, Ms. Oliver. Morning.
Good morning. So we're back in school, so that's good. We have all students back except for one school district will start next week, and that's East Aurora. And so far, so good. We'll knock on wood every time we say that. As far as our office, we've already started our bus refresher classes, and we do those annually with every bus driver in King County and in some of our surrounding counties as well. And so we're busy working on that. And our youth outreach staff is out trying to help kids who maybe became disconnected with their schools and trying to get them reconnected and making sure that they have the supplies that they need to start the school year. That's all.
It's great to see schools open without any
Question, Kopi?
without any substantial issues. Yes, Mr. Kopi?
Hi, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. The question I have is regards to the last committee of the whole meeting, whereas there was a concern about truancy and mental health problems with kids, and we were anticipating a tally for those kids and a tracking means. I was wondering if there was any progress on that end.
What's the concern? Do you want an update on that, or?
Just curious if there's any progress on that end towards tally of the kids, and whether and if we could bring them into the fold as far as maybe perhaps services being rendered on their behalf through the American Rescue Plan, perhaps.
Sure. We've had one meeting with Madam Chairwoman and a couple other members of the county board. And then on Friday, we have a meeting as well with Madam Chairwoman and all the school superintendents to discuss the mental health component. It's a little early in our year to know exactly, what our caseloads are going to look like. But we are moving forward, looking at those funding dollars that are available for mental health.
Excellent. I'll be looking forward. I'll defer to Madam Chair's position on that posture. Thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, County Clerk, Mr. Pollack.
Good morning. You have our report in front of you. Just point out a couple things. We're actually now ahead of last year in terms of revenue, and we're about 1.1 million on this chart as of July. So look like we're going to exceed the conservative 1.2 million estimate we had. For those of you that have been around for a while, this office used to generate about $640,000 in revenue, and we're on pace to more than double that this year. So things are starting to come back. You see a big bump in passports, one of our biggest Julys, I think, in recent memory in terms of passports. Marriage licenses, et cetera, are back. So it's good news for the revenue side and good news for the people to get the services. So with that, you have a report.
No. Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Under other business, I wanted to let everybody know that next month I've arranged for a presentation on election security. A gentleman by the name of Noah Prats will be coming in and putting on the presentation. This was at the suggestion of Mr. Cunningham, and I've had some discussion with Mr. Prats. He was unable to be here today, but he is an extremely well-known individual on election security, and he will be putting on a presentation for us next month. So I know everybody's still concerned about that. Okay, any other business? All right, we have no reason for executive session. Yes, sir?
You went too fast.
I'm sorry, I've already moved on. Go ahead,
At
Mr.
Human Services, I'm just communicating for sake of overlap. At Human Services, we've had yet another request incident situation occur where an employee is now living or potentially living out of state. And we need to kind of address this. And I'm not trying to make an issue of it, but my understanding is that our payroll system doesn't have the ability, we're not licensed, we don't have it configured to handle somebody that's not living in Illinois. So we need to kind of figure this out a bit. And I'm not sure if it has any overlap here since finance and other things come. But in this particular case, my understanding is in the judicial court system, there is, how do I say this? There are files that linger. And the person, the attorney that's of record for these on our team, the spouse has been relocated out of state. That attorney has to go out of state. It would really be burdensome for us to reassign somebody to each of these lingering files. If that individual is, I don't even know where they're moving. Let's say they're moving to California. It would be to our benefit to allow that attorney to continue through these, which could be years. I mean, these linger out. And I believe the answer to that request is we don't have the ability to do that. And I'm not sure how to address that. I know that we've sprung it back to Anzik, we've sprung it back to Chief Judge. I've made the suggestion, can we just find a temporary residence here for that individual? Would that not clear everything up? But it's a legitimate concern to the benefit of our residents and constituents to not have to reassign somebody and the case starts all over again. And I really don't know how to address this, and I don't have a solution at this point in time, but I want to make sure that we were being cards up about this and saying, we need to figure something out. And I'm not trying to make a blanket policy that, hey, any employee from every department should work from home or feel free to live in Wisconsin or Idaho or whatever. But in this particular case, it would be a hardship for us to try and reassign those. So I just wanted to, if I could, give that report and maybe open some dialogue with people that are smarter than me that might be able to assist in this. Or if there's ever been a situation in the past, hey, this is the way we addressed it then. Now is a really good time to bring that up and help us out with it, so.
Well, I believe that should be under the purview of the Finance Committee, okay? The key issue would be collecting taxes. So whatever state they're in, we not only have to collect the taxes, we'd also have to pay that. And that would create a burden also on the Finance Department. But
I don't think our smart fence system or whatever it is, I don't even think that we have that ability right now. We would really need to purchase a new module and new licensing for other states. And I get all that, but collectively, this is an issue that I want to continue to bring up to people. And if somebody has any knowledge base on it, chime in.
Mr. Leonard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Sturgis, I believe Scott Berger had his assistant living in Minnesota and they were paying him. So you may want to contact Scott, just find out how that was handled, if it was handled properly or not. I don't really know, but I know there was that situation. So I don't think it's the first time, and maybe he would have some knowledge or helpful ideas on how to handle it.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Bill. That's it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, interesting quandary. All right, they have a motion to place reports on file.
So moved.
Brown
Sure,
moves.
Shepro second.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Mr. Shepro?
I was seconding if nobody else did.
Okay, a second. Okay. Please do a roll call.
Brown,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Sturgis,
Burgess, yes.
Kopi,
Opie, yes.
Tepe.
Deputy, yes. And may I have a motion for adjournment?
Brown moves.
Mr. Brown moves,
Leonard seconds.
Mr. Leonard seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a great day.
Thank you.